I'm ready to go live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Freedom Forum here in the middle of the day. Because I figured, fuck it. You know, folks are in need of a decompression chamber, as it were. Some woo-saw and a whip snap. So, yeah, get you some relaxo. Crack a beer, you know, crack the beer, smoke a cigarette, kick your feet up, shoes off, stay a while. Have yourself a little bit of relaxation. Garrett, William, good to see you. Good to see you. So, a little bit of tobacco, a little bit of the alcohols, a little bit of some herbs. Kick back, relax, and shed the weight of the week. Here we are, Thursday, Thursday. Aldrin and Thorin. That cigarette's going. As you were. I says to myself, there's too much crazy in the world today. We need a bit of a break. I thought to myself, well, when I thought that the world was getting too crazy when I was living down in Blythe, I'd grab my rifle and my ruck and I'd go run through the freaking desert, go get me some training in. And when I talk about training, I'm not talking about like what most folks call training. All right. I talk about training in the form and sense of physically, mentally, and emotionally training yourself for the shit that you don't want to go through. So that when it arises, you can shut your brain down and just go on autopilot. And yeah, that's one of the reasons because, there's so much media and so much circus going on. And, you know, everybody wants drama here and drama there and this and that and the other. It's like, I get my most therapy, my most relaxation when I'm fishing, hunting, camping, shooting, hiking 4 miles with a freaking backpack on my back and a rifle on my chest. That's damn it, that's happiness. And there's a reason there right there in a nutshell is why I left California. If I went running through the woods with my say my 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 regular rifle here, my air gun, down there, I'll get harassed left and fucking right because I'm just walking around with something that looks scary. Quite literally, I've actually had police show up while I'm out on a hunt. All right. And I've told my father where I'm going. I've told my friends where I'm going and, that I am going on this particular day, sort of thing. You're following the rules and whatnot. And this was a real wake up call for me. This is why I don't tell people I'm going hunting. This is why I don't tell people I'm going fishing. This is why I don't fucking carry my phone on me when I do an either. It all boils down to this one interaction. I was out there in the woods and I was on a hunt, and I was a little ways back there, probably about the time that I had made my tomahawk. All right, and I pull up out there on the mule, borrowing my buddy's mule, getting out there. Just that's the whole point. Get out there. And my buddy had given me permission to utilize his mule at the time because it was my gasoline. So just bear with me. All right. It's all good. It was all good at the time. So I'll get out there and I got my big bore air rifle and I've got my little, uh, bolt action Hotson. And the cops pull up on me out there. I'm in the middle of fucking desert, all right. I'm literally out there in the jeeps and the jeeps. All right. I'm literally on a dirt road in the middle of a freaking wood patch. And I've got freaking Riverside County sheriffs so far up my rear end that I could brush their teeth and then check their breath. That's how close these motherfuckers was up my ass. So I pull over, I stop, and I'm just like, whatever. I start chilling on the freaking thing. These fellers walk up to me. And first thing out of this particular officer's mouth, and I won't call him an officer, I'll call him an officer because that's about what it is. First thing out of this cop's mouth is that a shotgun? Well, no, sir. I hunt with air guns. He's like, really? Well, we got a report that somebody was out here with a shotgun. I said, that's interesting because there's nobody else out here for one. And for two, I don't have any shotguns. I don't own any shotguns. I have about like 3 air rifles now. At the time, I had 3 air rifles. All right, I gave one of them away to my brother just because I felt like it. But that moment in time had me sitting there going, why are you busting my balls all the way out here on the lands? I'm on a hunt. I've got a license. I've got my rifle. I got, I'm in camouflage. I got the orange tape and whatnot attached to my hat. I got a freaking, my license attached to the other side of my hat, both of them with the freaking safety pins and whatnot. Just like, let's follow California's stupid ass rules, right? And so I'm doing all the freaking shit. And this is for just a damn coyote and rabbit hunt, all right? I'm not doing nothing special. So I'm sitting out there, and these guys are pulling up on me and harassing me. And I'm sitting there like, all right, well, I'm going to play along. I'm just going to deal with it. And by the way, hi, Andy. Hi, cuz. But I'm sitting there. I'm like, all right, I'm going to pull up and I'm going to just chill out and we're going to hash this shit out because I know that that's normally how it is. You have a police officer who's going to harass you while you're out there hunting, at least once a year. So I get out there and I'm I think that, everything's over because we've already hashed it out. Nuh-uh. This motherfucker literally follows me out there into the bushes. And I start calling. I'm trying to bring in coyotes or jackrabbits. This man's sitting out there 45 yards fucking downrange of me. I don't know this shit because he's sitting out there on the other side of bushes. I'm hunkered down in some bushes, so you can't see me. This man is literally sitting there in full kit and attire in the middle of a freaking 110-degree heat. All right. To specifically bust my balls. And it was at this moment a coyote come running up right in front of me. Now, I don't know if you guys know about this, but I'm a little bit jumpy about coyotes because I've had them run up on me and I've had them actually physically attack me and had to kill one with a knife. On top of that, I watched a couple of coyotes drag away a little kid. So I'm real hard up about coyotes. This motherfucker. Here's the shot ring out. I tear this fucking coyote a new asshole, by the way. But this motherfucker hears the shot ring out and comes running up with his pistol drawn like, what the fuck you doing? I'm like, dude, You are in the middle of the desert. I am a hunter. Now your ass is in trouble. I can actually call the freaking warden on you for coming out here and trying to assault me while I am hunting. What's more, you coming up, running up on me with a pistol drawn. Law enforcement or not in the middle of the woods is a good way for you to get shot by a hunter because they might see you as a direct threat at that moment and not realize that you were an officer. I'm telling this guy this as he's sitting there pointing a gun at me. All right. This cop takes a fucking second to think and goes, whoops, I done fucked up. Puts his pistol back in its holster and he's like, then he looks down at the fucking coyote and realizes what I'm doing. Fucker shakes his head, turns around and walks off like as if I didn't even exist. I wasn't even there. Now, mind you, I was done with this shit at this point. So I walked over, I grabbed up my coyote and I followed him out. At a good distance, mind you, but I followed him out. He was fucking parked right behind my fucking little behind the mule. He had followed me from where I started at and left because I was like, I ain't gonna be, having people up my ass and all this shit. And he followed me out into the fucking desert. And now you know why I don't carry my phone. Now you know why I don't tell nobody I'm going hunting. And now you know why I hardly ever invite somebody to train with me. There's a reason behind it. I've been fucked over by so many different people, it would blow your mind. So, when I put that post out there earlier on the YouTubes, I want to make this clear. I did that because I want you to know what I'm capable of, and I want to see you be capable of that same thing. I want to see others be capable of that in the moment, be that lethal weapon at the same time as being that consciously understanding person who knows the battlefield for what it is and follows the rules of engagement. Just doesn't just think of them as a guidelines. It's because I followed the rules of engagement. That cop, if he would have shot me, I'd have been legal to shoot back, one. And two, not only that, I'd have also been able to have him arrested after the fact because of that happening. I already got him in a lot of fucking trouble with the game wardens because he did all this shit. And because you cannot tolerate it once or they'll do it again and again and again and again. I'm now down there, the warden that was working down there at the time is a good friend of mine. We used to talk all the time because I think that it's important that you keep up with your game wardens. So, I was down there and whatnot. And he starts talking at me about this. I'm like, so you heard about this? And he's, this is a couple of days later. I'm out there at the preserve and I'm doing, just basic cleanup of garbage and shit. And he pulls up and he's like, I heard about that. Don't worry, that guy won't be coming back. I said, good. That's how you take care of it. When you have to deal with that kind of bullshit, you have options that arrive in their condition. You got to think about it in the moment, which means that you got to train for this shit beforehand. You've got to psych yourself up for it beforehand. That's one of the beautiful things about hunter education, training, and hunter safety certification. It gives you those kind of little bits to be able to turn around and go, all right, I can deal with a cop. I can deal with a warden. I can deal with an unruly cop. All right, because I've got the law on my side. So in all reality, we're good as hunters, we're gonna have to deal with that, at least at first kind of harassment. And sometimes people are gonna just do that stupid shit because they don't approve of what you're doing. They're gonna follow you out into the woods and they're gonna try and give you shit. And some of them might actually do more than just giving you shit, if you know what I mean. I've been shot at before. I've heard rounds whistle past me. They've skipped off the ground, skipped off of trees next to me and shit. And it's been in a situation where the person followed me out there because they did not approve of me doing that fucking hunting, and I had a legal ability to. I had license and all that shit. But they followed me out there because they didn't like what I was doing. I just dealt with that one in swing. Most of the time, I don't go out with somebody else because when I hunt, I am a predator. I am an outright lethal weapon. And the problem with being an outright lethal weapon and being one of those singular operator minded kind of individuals is that when you get into the bush, nothing else exists except you and the hunt. And if you've got someone up your rear end when you're doing that, that's how hunting accidents happen. So that's why I don't normally hunt with other people. No, it was not a game warden that followed me. It was the county sheriff, Riverside County Sheriff. Game warden actually was on my side. He's a good dude down there. What's I'm gonna just put his name out there because dude is fucking awesome. All right, and he's a great game warden, and I think he should be a game warden because that's what he does, and he's good at it. All right, not only that, but he's good with people, and that's a big deal when you're, like a game warden officer of any kind. So, uh, Warden McCollum, thank you for being a good man and my friend, brother. Thank you. Uh, that's some pretty tough ass shit right there, Kentucky. Um, Yo, Dip Man. Yeah, see, game wardens are people too. Sheriffs are people too. But when you're going to act like the hothead asshole that's out there just to prove something to to the world, instead of trying to do your job and be appropriate about it, be an adult and understand that other people are adults too. That's kind of law enforcement. I can't abide that. You're not enforcing law, you're enforcing your own personal political wins. There's a difference. So, like I said, that man was a fucking excellent warden, and I appreciate him. Uh, he kept me from being harassed by several people. In fact, this dude ended up getting actually, you know, unpaid administrative leave and then booted from the department for committing a felony on the clock. He followed me into the fucking desert on more than one occasion after that all happened. Matter of fact, about the time that I left Blythe, I had just gone on I think it was a fishing expedition. And this dude was so far up my backside. I mean, seriously, I was sitting there on the bank of the Colorado River, fishing pole in hand. I'd driven out there and whatnot. And this dude pulls up on the sandbar in front of me with a jet ski and started doing freaking whirlies because he thought it would be funny. Well, just so you know, if you've already got a history of hunter harassment and then you harass them while you're or harass that person while they're fishing, that's also a felony. But rather than report it, I left because I don't like the drama. So I left California because I can't even train down in California without somebody up my ass, let alone go hunting or fishing. Goddamn people, man. Need to get away from the drama. That's what it is. I've always been one of them folks that says, save the drama for your mama. She enjoys it more. But, you know, some folks have seen that as insulting in my past, and I've actually gotten my shit slapped in for it. So, hey, what can you do, right? Grab a beer, kick one back. So, like I said, I moved up here to Oregon about a year ago. I ain't been able to train in that time, which means that I've got some serious training to do, and just to get my edge back, get sharp again. Because you don't train your skills, you don't hone your skills, you lose those skills, you lose your abilities, and it's serious, man. It could be the difference between life or death. So, I don't have anywhere where I'm comfortable to train because of different aspects, legalities and whatnot. I if it weren't for legalities, I'd go right up the hill right here and just go right into the woods. I mean, you see, they come right up to my back door, pretty much, right up to my back gate for certain. So, I'm just saying, I'd go right up the mountain here and go train there. But the difference is that I am not confident in my skills of sleep and creep. You know, I'm, I'm not confident in my skills of drag and skull to be able to get up there without being seen. And on top of that, that's not my property. The property I have legal access to right now is what you see me sitting on, literally. That's why I shoot that tree in the backyard. That's why I've not gone around and done any of that. Most folks here in the PNC or PNW, Pacific Northwest, don't know I exist. If they do know I exist, that's because I've actually made an effort for them to know that I am alive and I'm here. Reality is I need a place to go train. That's I need that training. I mean, my appearance will throw people off right away. They look at me and they're like, you fucking homeless git. Dude, who gives a fuck? I'm not there to smell pretty. In fact, I'm not there to fucking smell good at all. I'm there to bust my ass and get all sweaty and stink, because that's the reality of it. You train right and you're gonna stink. You're gonna smell like butt cheek and armpit. Your salty nuts is literally what it's gonna smell like. It smell like ass crack walking up the mountainside. because you are physically beating yourself up. You are mentally and emotionally beating yourself up. You're stressing yourself out to your absolute limit. And then you are trying to push yourself to be able to do what you do in everyday life, or for that matter, push yourself to be able to do what is that once in a lifetime necessity, if that. That kind of training makes you hostile, agile, and capable, which is competence in a nutshell. You got to be competent. I mean, why carry if you're not going to be competent? That's foolish in my eyes. If you don't know where that bullet's going in the heat of the fucking moment, when shit is going crazy and your mind is playing tricks on you, and you know things are flying at you with lethal intent, if you don't know what's past that target, you can get yourself in a lot of legal trouble. That's why you train. Now, like I said, I got nowhere to go. I got nowhere to do it. I'd like to be able to train out to 300 yard. I'd like to be able to train, you know, with others. But it's a matter of one, if you don't have the legal capacity to do it, you're going to have people up your ass about it, and they're going to get you hurt. That's a reality. They are going to get you hurt in your training sims. That's why you need to do it like I'm telling you, that kind of by yourself sort of thing, or with people you can trust in places that you know are not going to be frequented by those crazy nut bars that want to run up on you and get you hurt. That's a big deal for me, behind it. That's why, like I said, it's why I was out in the desert and, far away from other human beings. And I was using air guns so that I knew that my projectile wasn't going too goddamn far. Training, using a scenario in my mind and then playing it out in a visualized grid in the middle of the desert. Because the thing is I don't have special fucking places to go and train and do all that. I had to visualize it and then do it on the ground out there where it was legal for me to do it, so that even if the Karens come out there, the fucking cops ain't gonna give a shit. Well, most of the time. And like I said, that's why when I do go out, I don't carry this thing here and this cell phone. I don't carry my computer. I don't carry any kind of GPS systems. And I've been breaking that rule recently, as far as last year, because I don't know the fucking area, and I need to have the topo maps. I need to have the private property versus BLM property versus timber properties and shit like that. What's crossable, what's not crossable, that big deal, because that's how you end up getting into some serious shit. That's when it stops being training and it starts being real. Like I always say, it's always a training day till the bullets start flying back at you. God's honest truth. That's the way I look at it. When I was hiking across the desert and I had somebody actually fucking sighting me, trying to shoot me. Thank God it was with a fucking pea shooter and iron sights. Couldn't hit a fucking broadside of the barn if they tried, because I've been hit with a bullet before. I've been hit with more than one bullet. They're not fun. They hurt. So, that instance was a bit of a wake up call. And I've been shot at in the middle of the city too. So it doesn't matter where you're at, by the way. These people, if they want to hurt you, they will find you and they will do it. Why do you think I carry my air rifle? And yes, it's an air gun. I don't carry fucking firearms. I carry air guns. Like I said, why do you think I carry an air rifle when I go into the inner cities? No, I'm not carrying it around in public, but you can bet it's within close fucking proximity. And I can get to it in 10 seconds or less. That's what I mean by, I train my mind at all times. I try to remain in that mindset of everything's going to be okay, but just in case. This is where I'm at, and this is how I can do this, and this is where I can go, and this is what I can do. I sit next to the exit with my back to the wall at a freaking diner. Done it for years. My rifle's in my truck. My gear is ready to split on a moment's notice. My fucking truck breaks down, or there's an EMP. I can hoof that shit out because my ready gear is in my truck. I've got my axe, I've got my freaking shovel, I've got my rifle, I've got my ruck, I've got my medical kit, I've got water. It's all there in the truck. I've got blankets, I got everything I need, and I can set up my pack and be gone in about 10 minutes in the situation of not being able to grab my truck. In the situation of being able to grab my truck, I can drive away. But in the matter of, shit's going down, I can recognize the situation. For one, I've been in them. I know what they look like. And unfortunately, at the time, I was not armed. I didn't have any kind of weapons, and I almost got myself killed. So, again, this is coming back down to knowing your surroundings, knowing the situation, training yourself, and then utilizing that training to further your own knowledge of, other types of training out there, and then create your own training off of it. Every single person is individual. You have to push yourself. It's great if you got a drill sergeant sitting there, drill instructor sitting there, screaming down your ear, "Get the fuck up that rope, you pussy ass motherfucker, get up there." It's great because it's that little bit of added, like, man, if I don't do this, he's going to beat the shit out of me. But you do more damage to yourself than any drill instructor could. And that's some scary shit. So if you're the one pushing yourself, you're going to drive yourself harder. You're going to go further. It's mind over matter and being willing to do the shit. I mean, I've fucking hate society as a whole. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm not a people person. Face to face, I'm courteous as hell. I'm nice, but that is a facade. That is me being fake nice because I don't want to deal with other people. You want to see me real nice? Be my friend. You want to see me real nice? Ask for my help. Ask for me to be a human being in your midst. You want to see me real scary? come train with me. Because there's two sides to this coin. I can be real scary, which is totally different than me on YouTube. I'm going to tell you that right now. On YouTube, I put off this facade of being a scary motherfucker and ha ha ha, whoop de woo, you know, rah rah rah, I'm fucking guardsman. No, that is not the kind of scary I'm talking about. You got a glimpse of it a couple of live streams ago when I shot the tree over there, like a glimpse. I scare myself, and that's a good thing, by the way. When you are such a lethal weapon that you scare yourself, makes you into a different person. It makes you want to be kind. In a nutshell, that's why I'm uber nice when I'm out and about. It's because I want to be kind. And that fake nice is me trying to show other people, please just let me be kind to you. Please just let me be courteous, because if you don't, it's going to work out really bad for you. I mean, I've shown off some of my martial arts skills. Yeah, big whoop. You don't realize what it is until it's actual hand to hand and you're physically fist to fist, you know? I got my first real figuring on what an ass whooping was when I was about 16, 17 years old. I got into a fight that would have scared somebody, I tell you. The little, you know, well, not little anymore, about 16 years old. I was probably about 5'8", 5'9". You know, I was about as tall as my dad. Maybe a couple inches taller, maybe not. So 16 years old, I get into this fight with this fella that's about 6'8" at the time. All right. I mean, fucking huge. Dude built like a Mack fucking truck. We duked it out in the middle of the freaking grass out there. And mind you, this is in juvenile hall, all right? That at the time, I'm in juvenile hall. So all of this shit going down, it was normal. But anyways, I'm sitting there and, you know, I'm paying no mind to anybody else. This dude starts picking at me. I'm like, all right, whatever, dude, blah, 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 blah. And I start talking some shit. Suddenly he takes offense to it. And this dude, in about a lickety split blink, jumps up and snatches me up by my ass crack and my fucking, you know, the back of my jacket and chucks me. And I go flying, mind you. It nearly freaking decapitated me when I hit the ground. I tucked and rolled, and I tucked wrong. And instead of tucking on my shoulder, I tucked on my neck. So I do a full flop, and I come, you know, I just lay in there. The air comes out of me, and it's like, and dude walks over, and he's standing over me, and it's like, "What you gonna say now, motherfucker?" And I said, "Eat grass," and grabbed him by the back of his knees and pulled him down. He face planted the ground pretty freaking hard, and then he got back up. After about 2.5 minutes, I did not. Took me a week to get over that one. Like I says, an ass whooping is an ass whooping, and it was a learning experience for me. Pick your battles. Anyways, hi Carl, Keno, Huck. I gotta go back and say hi to folks because I might have missed you. Hi Andy, hi Dip Man. All right, cuz everybody that's there, Cheers, beers. So, like I was saying, you're not the biggest, baddest motherfucker out there. Nobody ever is. But you train to be that person that scares you. And then pretty soon, other people are going to respect that. It's just going to be like a kind of an unspoken common knowledge. Don't fuck with this guy. Just don't. All right. It'd work out a little bit better for you. Just don't. So, by the way, I actually became friends with the gentleman who fucking tossed me on my ass, and that was after a later point in time where we got into another fight, and I wasn't thinking that we weren't going to fight. I knew we were going to fight at that point, at that time. And I came into the fight with a little bit more get some because I came into the fight standing instead of laying on my back. So, dude was a huge motherfucker. I'm known for taking down people who are bigger than me. It's just kind of one of those things. Like, I see someone who's bigger than me and they choose to bully me. I see fun written on their forehead. And I don't know why it's like that. I just do. So, anyways, y'all been talking about the Chinese spy balloon. Ugh, bruh. The very fact that it has not been shot down yet should be more disturbing to you than the fact that they are sending spy balloons over the US or that it's over the US. The fact that it has not been shot down, collected, and then utilized as, uh, you know, evidence for the UN saying, we caught China. We caught them doing something that they don't approve of us doing. So if it's not going to be for tit for tat, fuck the bullshit. Let's go all out. We have the evidence. You know, since they're not doing that shit, there's got to be something behind it. There's got to be something behind it. And it's not that we don't have the balls to shoot it down. There's got to be a dumbass within the United States who's got a high powered rifle and the willingness to shoot that motherfucker down. All you need is a good hole inside of a fucking balloon. It'll come down. So the question isn't, why aren't we shooting it down? I mean, the question isn't, do we have the balls to shoot it down? The question is, why aren't we? Why haven't we? And I think the answer might disturb you. Biden is the reason why China even has trade with the United States, along with a few other senators. Just so you know. Just so you know. They could have launched it from China because we now have balloons that can do that. Helium goes up to the atmosphere. Sometimes the balloons will pop because they get too charged. Other times, if the balloon is designed right, like the new ones are, what'll happen is it'll get up there into the atmosphere and swell up because of the sunlight and expand to a certain extent. And then it'll start to cool down because the sun starts going down, and the earth turns, and the balloon's still fighting the atmosphere, so the balloon starts to shrink again. And it can stay up pretty far up there, even if it's shrunk down, because it's got all the lifting gas it needs. It's just not as excited as it was. So it's not as expanded as it was. So it starts to kind of clump down a little bit and hold to itself rather than trying to expand and push outwards. So that balloon that's coming over top of us, it's not going to fall out of the sky on its own. And we haven't shot it down because our politicians, it's our politicians. They are the reason we have trade with China. They have gotten all buddy ass patty with them fellers in the CCPA, whatever, CCPL. And now it's on display. It is on full fucking display for everybody to see. The reason why it ain't been shot down, there's an order to not shoot it down. In case you were wondering. I'm sure that they're going to spin it as, if we allow overflights of our land, they're going to allow overflights of their land, and we'll be able to be mutually benefiting from this particular situation because we both have knowledge of each other's sites and whatnot, and we both have tactical knowledge of each other, and so we're not going to attack each other because we know that we'll obliterate each other at a moment's notice. This is the problem. They're not gonna give a fuck. When have you ever known somebody to care about collateral damage on their own turf in the middle of a war? Other than America, mind you. Because, United States, we're like that safe little spot in the middle of two freaking oceans, and a couple of allies that were hard-won allies. We're that one little safe spot. What about everybody else? Never come to mind? Hey, they don't fucking care because wars are fought on their soil anyways. The nukes on Japan weren't the ultimate defining factor of their surrender. It was actually the proposition of what would happen to them if the Russians invaded. But, yes, America, we had the bomb. We dropped the bomb, and the bomb was big, flashy, showy, and scary, and did something that no other bomb had ever done before, which was enough to make somebody stop and think, hey, we can't do this. We're not going to win. It's not just that we're not going to win. We're going to get utterly fucking flattened. We got nukes from one side and the most psychotic sons of bitches on the planet from the other side. It's not going to work out for us. We need to surrender. That's literally how that came about. It wasn't so much of us as it was both. So you need to understand and recognize nukes doesn't scare as much as it should. I don't like nuclear weapons. I think it's stupid as fuck. I think that's how you get a whole lot of people dead. That's how you get everybody dead real quick. But not everybody sees it that way, especially not our military planner people. Yeah, the balloon bombs. You know, you cannot trust registered hardware, military tech, over the top, experimental, and it's from your own fucking country. You can't trust it. Why? Because you don't know it's experimental from your own country if it's experimental from your own country. You see how that works? So the idea comes that there is a certain amount of capitulation happening. That's what this is, by the by. If you didn't know, the balloon coming overhead is a certain amount of capitulation. Our government is capitulating to the Chinese, specifically to Xi Jinping's government. If you understand the implications of what that is, then you are sitting there wiping your ass right now because you just shit yourself. That, or you are clutching at your chest going, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm having a heart attack. Trust me, I'm doing everything in my power to not think about that shit because it is fucking literally give me the pitter pitters. My heart's a flopping in my chest like a dead fish, a dying fish. Because I understand the implications. I know what that means. You're going to start seeing a whole lot more Chinese police departments. You're going to start seeing a whole lot more of this lefty fucking dumbassery bullshit push to weaken who you are, who I am, to try and take it away from you, even though you're the one who dictates that. You're the one who dictates what gets taken from you and what doesn't. I'm going to put that out there. It is a strong mind, a loud voice, with a crisp retort. Not some bullshit fucking scream the loudest, just some weird ass slogan. No, a crisp retort. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Get out there and do the hard things. Love thy neighbor as thyself, but understand that if you love yourself enough, you would expect your neighbor to do the same fucking thing to you as you would do to someone else for doing that dumb shit. Mental power. Be the darkness to uphold the light that is over your shoulder. Truth be told, beer right here. So, I want some herb juice, which means I want to be able to sit back and just relax. Here's what the fuck I think. Let me talk at you. Let me talk at you. Hello, it's me, Blaine. Let me talk at you. Fucking with you, but hey. So, herbs of life. Where'd they go? Shit, I lost my edge. There we go. Let me lend a tomahawk to this intellectual thinking. El rochochito. Poquito rochochito. Hold on. That's ammunition. Hund! It's raining. I don't want you out in it. I gave you a piggy ear. What are you waiting for? Why didn't you eat it? Ah, fuck it. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. You're going to find out real quick why you don't want to be out here in the rain. Go on. Go do potty. Go on. Go do potty. Okay. Goof Troop. Go on, Goof Troop. Go do potty. I love you too. Thanks. Okay, go do potty. Oh, Lord. I gave you love. Go do potty. You take care of business, Hootie. Go. I love mine who. I love mine who. Yes, I do. I love mine who. You good boy. All right, goofball. All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gotcha. Oh man, hey, chill, dude. I'm done. I'm done. I surrender. I surrender. I give up. Don't hurt me, senor. Punch me in the mouth. Yeah, man. I mean, we're living in a day and age where you can't even fucking go to the store without an ass guard. And I mean that in a joking sense. If y'all don't know what an ass guard is, that's where you take a t-shirt or a jacket and tie it around your waist. If you're going with a friend to like a gay bar or something, so the gay people know that you're not gay. It's honest to God truth. That's one of the fucking things I found out. If you go to a gay bar and you're not gay, tie a shirt around your waist. You can still drink. They don't mind you. As long as you don't bother them and mind them. Would you stop eating hair? Here, let me see your face. Let me see your face. There we go. Good boy. Thank you. Ja, best alving, Hunde. You do best alving. Where's you? Yeah, no. Asgard. And every now and then, start feeling like you need one going into a damn grocery store. What the fuck? Bro, you ain't my type. You know, shit I gotta say to some folks sometimes. Yeah, never use the bathroom at a gay bar. You're right about that one. That is another rule. Never use the bathroom at a gay bar. There's a reason why the back door actually has a sign over the top of it that says straight restroom. There really is. It says straight restroom and then emergency exit underneath it. Go out the fucking back and take a piss, and then everybody knows that you fucking left the building because the fucking emergency exit sound goes off and shit. But yeah, no, like I said, wear an ass guard. Because the funniest shit is you walk into a fucking gay bar and you ain't wearing an ass guard and everybody's hitting on you. You see this other dude sitting over there and he's got this fucking this long sleeve shirt tied around his waist, right? And nobody's bothering him. Absolutely nobody is bothering him. But you're sitting there and everybody is up your ass like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? And you're like, bruh, I don't know if you noticed, but this gate says exit only. I'm just here with a friend to have a beer and hang out and talk shit. Nothing personal, all right? Just I'm not interested. I don't swing that way. Have a nice day. Shit like that. And you're sitting there like every motherfucker in the bar is like coming up, bruh. I'm not gay. I'm here with a friend. Well, if your friend's gay, then you gotta be gay too. No, I'm not gay, motherfucker. And honest to God, step the fuck back. Well, why didn't you wear an ass guard? Oh, what? An ass guard. It's so that everybody in the bar knows you're not gay. What? You mean that there's a special protocol for me to have to fucking follow to be able to walk into a goddamn bar? Bruh, you smoking crack? No, it's so that you can not have to deal with all the guys coming on you. I understand. It's okay. What? All right, well, cool. I just real quick. All right. I know what you're talking about now. It's all good. Shit. Let me go ahead and go and get right. Shit. There you go. We good? Good. You know what I'm saying? It literally comes down to shit like that. Why do you think I freaking wear 3 jackets and shit? 2 sweaters. If it's chilly outside, it feels good too. But I mean, shit like that. It just little fucking nuances make you nuts, man. Smart rules of society that like most folks don't know about because they don't live in that reality. They refuse to live in that reality because they see it as a mental health issue. To me, it's just is what it fucking is. You are yourself. I am me. I'm not freaking. I am definitely not no damn pedo. But on top of that shit, um, I'm straight. Y'all have a good day. How are you straight? And you're so comfortable with gay people. It's very simple. I got family members who are gay. They chose to be that way. Or didn't choose to be that way. I don't know. I know for a fact that I did not choose to be heterosexual, but I am heterosexual, and that's how it works. I do not appreciate being hit on by guys. I actually don't even appreciate being hit on by girls, but when a girl hits on me, it's kind of flattering. But that's neither here nor there. I'm my own man. I do my own thing. So please don't see me as your type. Fucking part and parcel why I just said fuck it. You know, why would I want people around me? Why would I want people next to me, like in my face and shit? You know, that's one thing. Arm's length. Hey, we can talk. I can hear you from there. Hell, I could hear you from across the room, and you ain't got to shout none. And funny shit, you know, I've had my eardrums blown out at least once. And when there's other sounds in the room, it's hard for me to hear. But if that sound, if those other sounds, you know, they wander off for a second, or just for a split second, I can literally pick up on a conversation and be able to hear that conversation when the sound comes back. It's more of a focus thing for me than it is a, you know, a hearing thing. But at the same time, I can't hear fuck all on this side. I can't see nothing on that side. So, hey, whatever. Brass knuckles work real well, yeah. You know what else works real well? Palm of your hand. And that way you're not breaking those little bones right here, trying to hold on to some brass knuckles. When that impact takes it and fucking folds that set of brass knuckles back against your hand because you swung wrong. You came in with a hook instead of a jab, you know. Brass knuckles can hurt the user just as much as they can hurt the other person. So that's why it's like, dude, don't swing like this with a freaking set of brass. You shouldn't swing like that anyways, but swinging like that with a set of brass knuckles is going to fold it back on your knuckles and bust your hand up. If you're going to throw a shot with a set of brass knuckles, it should be a jab, straightforward. And you should have good control with your fist anyways. So you wouldn't need the brass knuckles in the first place, but the brass knuckles do help in that one instance. You know, that whop. Now bust someone's shit open rather than just, you know, you're dazing them for a second. So I understand the brass knuckles a little bit. I do get that. I just don't like them. Now fuck your hand up. Leave it or don't. See here. Right there, it's kind of hard to see now because I'm like really this happened a long time ago, but it's right here on my finger, on my ring finger. It looks like a little light band across my knuckle, and there's a little divot on that middle knuckle. And it's tiny. It's really hard to see unless you're in person. But that's from throwing a punch with a set of brass knuckles and throwing it like this. Haymaker brass knuckle. That's why you don't do it. Take my experience and run with it. Hold. What? You want to choke? Okay. There you go, bud. All right. That's all things. I know. You're okay. Let me see your face. Let me see your face. Get them boogies out the eyes. Yeah. Come on. Let me get the face. Yeah, there we go. Good boy. I'm a good boy. Ja. This one's the Sonnenhund. Nine. Nine. You have one. You don't need more than one. Oh, temperature in Boston tonight is minus 60. The penguins are pissing ice cubes and frozen beans underneath. It's going to get real interesting there. Y'all chuckle in. If you got a soup can or something, you can make yourself a soup can stove. If you've got, a couple of soda cans and some of that fiberglass wall insulation, you can make yourself a nice penny can stove out of just some cans, all right, and some alcohol. So do that. Don't freeze to death. I want y'all to be there, if I come to your town. I want you to be alive. So please don't freeze to death. And yes, I am actually thinking about it. It's been on my mind. Hi, Debs. Yeah, it's been on my mind. Like, I want to come and say hi and visit y'all, but I'm sure, as you know, gasoline is out fucking rougeous, and I could barely afford it at the best of times. So, trying to figure out something to where I can re-rig my truck or something, get some, like, get it running off of methane, or get it running off of propane, or something to just to lighten the load just a little bit. Because honestly, it fuck with me. Why are you chewing on shit? Don't get me wrong, you can have that plastic piece. It's just a matter of, why are you chewing on shit? Because I'm a do, and that's what I do. Yeah, I know it, who. Because I'm a do, and that's what I do. I'm a do, and that's what I do. I'm a do. Yes, I know. Oh, just don't chew on my tools. You know that. All right. That's all thing going on. Yeah, before you know it, he's going to be so big that getting up on my lap is actually going to cause me more than pain. Yeah, you will. It's in your breed, Bubba. Oh, I know. I know you love me and don't want to hurt me. It's just Papa's got arthritis, hoodoo, and use a heavy pup. Ouch. That's all thing holding. That's you. I know you want to play. I can't play right now, dude. If you hadn't noticed, I'm not that good when it's raining. When it's cold outside. I love him to death. Good gourd, the slobbers. Oh my God. He slobbered in my mouth. And you wonder why I says, German Shepherds kiss, they don't lick. That's what I'm saying. German Shepherds kiss, they don't lick. Thought you were going to sit outside there. What else? You're good. Okay. I can walk. Really, I can now. Which that fucking hurts. Yeah, that would be nice. Camping trip somewhere. I don't know. Arizona, Montana, something like that. But yeah, what right? That's gonna happen, right? Furs, bailando, your stall friend. Only because I love you. Here you go, bud. Your stall friend, hon. Ah, there we go. Oh, beer 30. Crisp, piney, hoppy, with a little bit of bitter grapefruit in the backgrounds. I like it. Mm. Now, what was I missing here? Oh, shit. What the fick? Fick? The fick? Moferky. All right, that's better. We're back. Ugh. Yeah, Indy's like I was last night. Just fly by, fly by in the other way. All right, I'm back. What's going on? Oh, yeah, I know it. I know it for truth. There's a bunch of us that aren't going to be going willingly. Of course, the ones that are going to end up getting capped first are going to be the ones that are unwilling to run to the woods and fight a guerrilla warfare. I mean, in any Red Dawn scenario, any kind of Red Dawn scenario, okay, we're talking Red Dawn is invasion of the United States. That's literally what that plan entails. Any type of invasion. It could be invasion from the south or the north. It could be invasion from Russia or China or North Korea, Ukraine, any fucking where. Any invasion is what they call Red Dawn. In the event of Red Dawn, most often you're going to be best suited by keeping your eyes and ears open, your finger on the pulse of society and understanding what's going on, and at the same time knowing your central sphere of influence and knowing who's who, basically. When the lead starts flying, that's the moment to become the bunch of teenage kids from the high school that ran to the fucking woods because their dad told them to get the fuck out of here. That's literally what you need to be. All right. And mind you, there's a reason behind this. Be the kids that run away. Because the man who runs away lives to fight another day. by getting out there in the woods, at that moment, you increase your capabilities and as an individual operator tenfold. Yeah, at some point in time. I want to finish this particular subject though. So as I was saying, you get into the woods, you get out there, you get away from society. When we're talking. This is invasion, all right. We're talking leads flying. We're not talking just day to day. The government breathing down your neck or the fucking regular bullshit, because that's not going to work. In that scenario, that doesn't work. Your best bet is to hunker down and videograph everything and respond in kind. That's your best bets. But when it comes down to going into the Red Dawn scenario, your best bet is fuck everything and run. You can always pick up guns later. You can always pick up ammunition later. You can always pick up survival gear later. You can always pick up fucking whatever you need later. You cannot pick your life up off the ground when it's been blown out of your head. So literally vanish. That's your best bet. If you can grab a gun, great. If you can grab a knife or a lighter or a pocket survival kit, or heaven forbid you actually grab your fucking go bag like a smart motherfucker because you trained for it. So it's there and you've got it and you just didn't even need to think about it because it's in your hand. You're going to be better off. But the actual fact of getting to the woods is the most important part, because a man in the woods is harder to kill than a man on the street. And a man on the street is harder to kill than a man in his home. Believe it or don't, God's honest truth. A man on the street is harder to kill than a man in his home. So you have to be ready for these events. You have to be mentally thinking about the situation before it ever arises, so that when it arises, if it arises, you don't have to think about it in that moment. You've already gone through and ticked off the different possibilities and the changes and variables to those possibilities. Everything's already been hammered out, so you know what you're doing. You don't even have to think about it. It's one decision after another. You only have to keep on orienting and deciding and acting. You don't need to observe anymore, because your observations are already there. They're already in the midst in that moment. You don't have to observe anything anymore. It's orient, decide, act. Orient, decide, act. Not observe, orient, decide, act. You're no longer doing the full OODA loop. You're doing an advanced and speedier form and fashion of that. Orient, decide, act. Orient, decide, act. You're not observing anymore. You're not in the background. You are in the foreground. You are dealing with the situation as it happens. My dad used to call it flying by the seat of your pants. Well, it's a good term. What life? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Been a while. By the by, were you here when I was handing out the old blue zoot suits? If not, hang out a second. All right. What life? Enjoy your blue zoot suit. You know, the old, whatchamacalls it. Oh, come on, computer. Don't fall over on me. Yeah, enjoy your blue zoot suit. Yeah, it's got holy shit in it, huh, cuz? Yes, that is correct. Camel, I'm going to put that up there because that is God's honest truth. That's 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, please listen to what Mr. Camel Carl has to say. This is honest truth, knowledge bombs being dropped on you in the chat. This is the truth behind all the BS that the world tries to tell you. Too many of us are scared of the dark or being alone without even being in danger. The ones who feel the safest in the middle of nowhere have far better chance of survival in SHTF. The reality of this is that too many are scared of the dark or being alone without actually knowing if there's a dangerous situation around the corner. You do silence. Seriously, do silence. Think about it. Realize that if it's dark outside, not only can you not see them, but they can't see you. If they're an animal, they could probably smell you. They might be able to see you a little bit. But about as well as you can see them, that's probably about as well as they can see you. Even with night vision, starlight, infrared and whatnot, and forward-looking infrared. Somebody who uses their mind in the middle of the woods and is comfortable in the middle of the woods is going to be far more effective with that equipment than somebody who has done nothing in the middle of the woods but has all the nice fancy fucking gear. That person might have all the nice fancy fucking gear, but they never train with it. And so guess what? They don't know how that gear is going to react in a shit situation. They don't know what to look for through that gear. They don't know how to, how to deal with that situation because their gear is unfamiliar to them. Like I says, don't be scared of the dark. We own the night. Moose, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. We all know you're the biggest, baddest son of a bitch in the valley. Hmm. Cuz, yes, sir. Gardens work great. They're very helpful for digesting things that stink. You know what I'm saying? And trust me, I know that stink. Oh my god. There's a moose on the loose. Debs is like, Moose is because you got red. You're red. Hey, don't piss off Red now. She'll jump through that screen on you. You should come out that door with that double barrel shotty like you know, Granny Clampett. Who you think you are? Who you think you is, boy? Sitting there, shotgun in her hands, just like, who you think you is, boy? Yeah, do not piss off, Red. Ow, what'd I do? Yep, I must have freaking bashed my leg against something because that hurts. Ah, yes, friction scab. Feels good, doesn't it? Yeah, boy, I love that pain. Get some. Weakness leaving the body, motherfuckers. Yeah. I do fear Red. I have to sleep sometime. Yeah, like I said, don't piss off Red now. Chafing. It's a lovely freaking feeling, especially when it's right on the outside of your calf, shin, lower leg, right about the flexors on your lower leg, your outer shin. It always just kind of it's not painful so much as it's irritating. So, anyways, as I was on about a little bit earlier, I need a place to train. Now, most folks they go to like gun ranges, special gun ranges. You got to go and pay extra money to go and shoot at and whatnot. I run air guns, and folks laugh at me for running air guns. And the folks on the gun range, they're not too appreciative of folks bringing an air gun to a gun range to go and shoot the air gun with slugs, hollow pointed slugs at that, um, at their backstop. And I says most because there are some that still do. All right. But most of the time it's on a private range where you see folks shooting their air guns. Just because there's nowhere to train for somebody with an air gun. If you're running an air gun, everybody else is laughing at you because they've got a firearm. And they look at that air gun as completely fucking useless. Little do they know, air guns are fucking lethal. There was just the other night I was watching that new shut the fuck up already! How many times do I have to tell you, dog? Make me have to pull out my drill sergeant voice on you. Pack it in. Fuck's sake. Yeah, this is the reality of life right there. They're not always there. They're there and gone. I don't think that Houdini understands that he needs to be at my pace because I can't be at his pace. I've got so much else already going on because I haven't had a dog my whole life. All right. Had a dog when I was a kid. I had several dogs growing up. I used to train other people's dogs and train other people so that they could train their dogs. But it's been a good 15 years since I had a dog of my own, anyways. From a puppy, especially. It's been more like 20 years since having a dog that I'd had was my own since a puppy. Having to deal with that, and then on top of that, having to do y'all, having to do for my chickens, having to do for the house and all that. That bullshit of literally not allowing me a fucking moment to do those other things is what I'm trying to train him out of. He needs to know that there is a time for him and there is a time for others. And it's important that he knows that because you can't be a militia dog if you don't do that. If you don't know that there is a specific time for you and a specific time for others. And what really butt hurts me is that it makes me feel guilty for yelling at him to try and get his behavior in check because I know I shouldn't feel guilty about it. I know that this is what's righteous because it's going to make him a better individual in the future. Still don't feel good. Uh-huh. New York State classes air rifles as firearms. But you know what bothers me about that? Air rifles are not firearms, and they never can be because they operate off of two different principles. One utilizes compressed air as its priming objective. The other one utilizes a chemical as its priming objective. They can never be the same thing. Regardless of the propellants used, the priming objective is what causes that propellant to expand and do its thing. In a firearm, that's a pin striking a chemical primer inside of a brass cap that, because of the impact, it's a shock shock sensitive chemical that will release energy. Well, an air gun don't work like that. It releases all the air that's necessary to drive that slug or pellet down the barrel. But because it has that air pressure already and other physics can apply, it still has the potential for more. That's why I don't like this idea of, air guns are any less potent. It's just a matter of an air gun is not a firearm and it will never be. A firearm is not an air gun and it will never be. The two cannot coincide. Sure, there are those one-off curios where you've got cartridges that'll work in a firearm but are air gun type. The cartridge is an air gun. The rest of it's a firearm. Yeah, New York State's laws are stupid as far as air guns are concerned, in my opinion. Hell, the ATF even agrees with me on air guns. The fucking ATF agrees with me on air guns. Air guns are not firearms. This is literally the most freaking gun control, gun grabby freaking bureaucracy we have, other than the Democrat Party, agrees with me on air guns. But New York State can't get their fucking, they can't get their shit in gear. They can't get their panties out of a bunch because, you know, it's just so traumatic. I mean, they had a kid run up with one of these little freaking air pistols and they shot the kid because they thought it was a real gun. And then, oh, well, we can't let anybody have them anymore because it's just, it's so much so close because it still shoots a projectile and it's still this, that, and the other. Motherfucker, guess what? An air gun, regardless of its abilities, regardless of its power, without an attachment, a railgun attachment, cannot and will never penetrate body armor. Allow me to say that again for you a little more slowly if you were not up onto my speed. An air gun cannot and will not ever be able to penetrate body armor without special attachments. Okay? So, this bullshit of an air gun is a firearm. Fuck that. Excuse my French, but fuck that noise. An air gun is not a firearm. They are two different entities built along the same design and same ideals. However, an air gun is not a firearm. It is simply a different means by which to relieve a projectile from a standard resting position. That is all it is. It's the only similarities between the two. An air gun is made to do things that a firearm cannot. A firearm is made to do things that an air gun cannot. So let's stop the bullshit. I run air guns because air guns are useful. They still can do a lot of things that a firearm can do. They do it more effectively in some situations. A firearm does it much more effectively in most situations. So let's not confuse the two. An air gun has its place. A firearm has its place. And let's not sit there and try and ban this shit. Let's try and educate each other on them. For instance, never look down the barrel of an air gun, even if you think there's not a projectile in it, because the air can still damage your eyes. Not because there might be a projectile in it, but because the air pressure alone can still damage your eyes. It's like looking down a loaded blank firearm. There's no projectile, but you might still blind the shit out of yourself. Never look down and get an air gun. Unless you know it doesn't have a charge and you know every aspect about that air gun and you know how it works and you've done it so many damn times. Never look down the barrel of an air gun. Firearm. That's a little different. It's a little easier to clear. Check it. But you can't tell if an air gun is charged. You know, you might think that the gas cylinder isn't punctured in a pistol, or, you know, you might think that it's not pumped up in an air rifle. You look down the barrel and say some dumb shit happens. I mean, just fucking astronomical chances. This shit does happen, but it's fucking rare and few and far in between. Still, imagine, you're sitting there holding your lighter and it drops on the trigger. Well, you just blinded the shit out of yourself with air pressure alone because it caused a bubble of air to run around the inside of your eyeball and get behind your eyeball where your retina is, and it causes scar tissue there because your body's got to get rid of the air. That can cause blindness. So you didn't kill yourself, but you've done just about as much damage as you could possibly do without throwing a slug through your brain. You've got to be respectful of these things. All right. There's a reason why I shoot at a tree that's got sticky sap. And, I'm very careful about my trajectory, and I'm very careful that if it misses that tree, it's going into a fucking hillside. That's why it kind of bothers me about some people's use of gun safety, but I don't think it should be a law. Trust me, if it was up to me, there would be no laws. No laws regarding firearms. None. No laws regarding air guns. No laws regarding large knives, swords, bows, and arrows. Maybe prerequisites before you can handle explosives, but very, very minute. Because otherwise people will not know about these things, and so they won't know the harm that they can do. This is what I'm talking about, making things easier to access, not making things harder. If we make things harder as accessibility, then there's going to be more accidents. There's going to be more accidental suicides. There's going to be more accidental homicides. And that is a problem. You shoot a motherfucker because he's trying to attack you. That's not a problem. That's a solution. But if somebody is sitting there, doesn't know what the fuck they're holding, and so they play around with it because they saw a few fucking movies, and they end up shooting their fucking brother or sister in the brain and make them a vegetable for the rest of their life. I blame the lawmakers for that. Not the kid that shot his fucking brother or sister. No, fuck that bullshit. Not the parents even. You know why? Because if the laws didn't say that they couldn't, the parents would be teaching those kids not to fuck with those guns. They'd be teaching those kids how to do so safely if they did. That's something I was brought up with. You'll notice I am 35 fucking years old. I had guns that would fucking delete us a motherfucker off the face of the earth at a moment's notice. One touch of that trigger and somebody would have died, sort of thing. But you'll notice I'm still here. My friends, for the most part, a few have died from things like lung cancer and fucking, muscular atrophy and other shit like that. Problems that you can't get around. But none of them have died from a fucking firearm. At least not unintentional accidental discharges. Yeah, I've got friends who have ND'd before, but they ND'd into the floor or ND'd into the fucking ceiling. They weren't stupid enough to be looking down the fucking barrel while they're sitting there with their finger on the trigger. And I see some of these kids on TikTok. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Dude, that's a hollow point round. You've got your cell phone in front of your fucking face and you've got the gun pointed at the fucking camera with your finger on the trigger. What the fuck is wrong with you? This is what I'm talking about. Non-education. Holly-weird education. Not, mama and daddy taught me not to fucking shoot unless I want to goddamn just utterly fucking destroy what I'm pointing my gun at. And I have to want it. I have to hate what I am pointing my gun at. Or I shouldn't be pointing my gun. That's one of the things that really pisses me off. Like, dude, if you're gonna make these fucking TikTok videos for serious, I don't think you should have a firearm. I don't think you actually have a legal right to have a firearm. In fact, you've proven that you're not competent enough to have a firearm. You'll notice that back in my video before, when I did look down the barrel of the air gun, it's fresh out of the package. I checked to make sure that there were no fucking gas cylinders, there was no projectiles, there was no nothing. The goddamn thing was open, so it couldn't actually do any damage if it did have an air charge, just off fashion. And then I looked to make sure the barrel wasn't obstructed straight out of the packaging. The meticulousness that you have to go through in order to make things safe to do is something we need to be educating people about. But unfortunately, we can't do that here on YouTube, because they'll go and they'll look at anything in your hand. Could be a fucking air gun, for fuck's sake. They'll look at anything in your hand and say, oh, well, that's a firearm. I mean, there's a firearm. Excuse the fuck out of me? That's a firearm, huh? Oh, boy. Oh, it'd make me mad. Y'all don't even know. That fucking pole sitting behind me over here, that is not a firearm. That is an air gun. I do not purchase firearms. Antique firearms are not firearms, legally speaking. Black powder gun, it's not a firearm. See, I'm not going off of state to state uh, legal definitions, just so we're clear, because regardless of the state bullshit, the federal law applies. And federal law states an air gun is not a firearm. It can never be a firearm. It will never be a firearm. No amount of manipulations that you do to it can make it into a firearm. And it's stupid to even try. The ATF agrees with me that a air gun is easier to control, easier to manipulate, easier to understand, and easier to utilize safely than a firearm. Now, mind you, do I think personally that that means you shouldn't have a firearm? No. Let's be clear. I, unlike the ATF, think that you should have a firearm and an air gun. As a matter of fact, you should have the most capable firearm that you are legally allowed to possess, and that should honestly be a fucking Modus on the top of your truck, but whatever. And you should also have the most potent and capable air gun that you can legally or, fiscally possess. And anybody who has a problem with that, well, too fucking bad, because that's my opinion. You really should be allowed to have that. Now, does that mean that, you shouldn't be shot if you do something stupid with that? By somebody who's afraid of your ass because you did something to make them scared, and you knew you were doing something to make them scared, and you did not fucking stop? No. Your ass should get capped fucking right off the bat. There you go. Have a nice goddamn day, because you were dumb enough to go and do something stupid, and they got you. As I've always said, it's one thing having a rifle on your shoulder. It's one thing having that pistol on your hip. When you're drawing down on somebody, that's a whole motherfucking different story. Never point a gun of any kind at anything that you do not wish to destroy / kill. It's that simple. I'm sorry if, that's too much to handle. I'm sorry if your brain has a problem wrapping itself around that reality. But here's something that I know everybody can understand, because either you've been through it or you've watched it happen in the media. Nobody is coming to save you. You are on your own. It is up to you and you alone. So keep calm and return fire. Now, I get a little bit fiery in, my streams and whatnot, my videos and my talking, but the reality is, this is the truth. I'm not gonna come to you with that fucking bullshit of, I think that you should, go and give up your guns and we should all live in one fucking happy fantasy land and goddamn fucking utopia and all that crap, because it doesn't fucking exist, and it never has and it never will. Humans are too much of an aggressive species. We are too much of a warlike species to all just go, well, okay, let's go live in the utopia land. It's all okay. Yay. We will never be this way. We will go to the stars. We will go to the, to other galaxies in the future. And we will never stop having the need to be able to defend ourselves against the environment, against the freaking hostile actions of other individuals, against other species, what have you. You realize that the first weapons weren't to go and kill other humans or hominids even. The first weapons were to go and kill animals. They were to hunt and to defend, because predators live. They exist. And to this day, they still exist. Predators are everywhere. And not every predator has a set of fangs. Okay? In this day and age, there's a lot of predators that don't have a set of fangs. That does not mean that they're any less capable of being a predator. That does not mean that they're any less willing to do you harm. It just simply means they don't have a set of fangs. A deer will fucking myrtleize your ass and then lick your blood off your body after it's done. You think I'm a lion? Not another thing coming, so. Yeah, don't believe in unicorn farts and fuzzy bunnies. You want to get together and make s'mores and sing kumbaya, I'm all for it, but understand something. If we going out in the woods, I'm bringing my rifle. Hell, I'll walk around in my backyard with my rifle. You think I'm not going to bring my rifle out in the midst of the woods where there's bears and there's wolves and there's coyotes and there's mountain lions and rattlesnakes and all manner of thing that, isn't exactly accepted scientifically out there. You think that I'm not going to bring my rifle? You out your mind. If you think I'm going to come to the freaking city and be like, I'm gonna park my truck and I'm gonna be right there at the house and whatnot, You think on my rifle's not going to be, either in the house with us or, in my truck? Get out your mind. That's fucking downtown Los Angeles, son. Like, I'm dead serious. You realize how many cops have actually told me, I'm glad you carry that air rifle? There's been a lot of them. Yes, also there have been the ones that are like, I hate the fucking civilians carrying guns. I hate that civilians go hunting. I hate that civilians this, that, and the other. And they're all on that level of I'm not a civilian, which is bullshit, by the way, because every police officer is also a civilian until they fucking actually have the power of law. So keep your mind on the level. Every cop is a criminal, and all the sinners are saints. Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man with no wealth, but plenty of taste. At this point, just call me Lucifer, because I'm in need of some restraint. Beaverines! Oh. Shout out to Backwoods, who is, by the way, live at this moment. And if you're over here, then that just means I love you so much more. Thank you. Means you hanging out with little old me and, more interesting folks on the internet. I appreciate you. The reality of the world is that nobody gives a fuck. Nobody's coming to your rescue. The moment that they start carrying, it's too late. I want you to understand that. The moment that the cops and the courts and the community starts giving a fuck, it's already done been too late. You need to be on point. Be the one to fucking sound the alarm. Be the one to sit there with the bullhorn and scream out the siren. Because this is what is going on. Está en nevo. It was silence, huh? Thank you. Yeah. Back when I was a kid, we had something that we called truck antlers or a window rack. And for those of you who know what that is, give yourself a little bit of a golf clap. For those of you who don't know what that is, I'm going to enlighten you for a second. Imagine, if you will, you see one of these hung up in the back of the truck, in the back window, sitting on two little things that hold it like so it doesn't flop around in the truck. And then underneath that, there's a shotgun. Oh, I want you to imagine that for a second, all right? We called that life insurance. When I was a kid, mind you, I wasn't a kid that long ago. 90s, late 80s, early 90s to the early 2000s. All right. When I was a kid, it was not abnormal where I lived to see a kid and their dad and a dog walking out to their Suburban carrying about 4 shotguns and a bag full of decoys. It was not strange when I was a kid for your daddy to show up at school with a full fucking deer hunting load out and complement in the back of the truck, and for you to literally change into your camis right there in the freaking parking lot down to your skivvies in front of God and everybody to go on a hunting trip after school. That was not strange. What was strange was some kid knowing how to make rockets, and some kid knowing how to freaking make the gunpowder that goes into the shotgun, knows how to make the gunpowder that goes into the muzzle loader, knows how to make the freaking nitroglycerin that goes and gets, you know, refined down and then turned into smokeless gunpowder to be utilized in a modern firearm. That was abnormal. But the kid just going, you know, dad has freaking deer rifles in the back of the truck and a freaking compound bow and, you know, 2 ghillie suits and, you know, deer piss in freaking bottles and, you know, all the deer tents and camping stoves and, you know, you name it. That was not strange. As a matter of fact, there would be kids in my school that would come running up to my dad's Suburban and be like, Mr. Price, are you going on a hunting trip? It was fucking normal. Nowadays, somebody shows up like that at a school, grabs a kid at, you know, at the end of the school day to take them up the mountain on a Friday afternoon because they're going deer hunting or something. Nowadays, that shit's fucking wild. You can't let your kids do that. You can't be doing that. No, we won't let you because that's not okay. You teaching your kid problems. Like what? Wait. Because my daddy taught me the difference between life and death. My daddy taught me the difference between, you know, going and providing for yourself, defending yourself, defending the ones you love, providing for the ones you love, even if you don't have a job, even if you don't have a fucking, you know, an income to provide, but you still have certain skills. That shit's abnormal now. You can't do that. Well, fucking excuse the fuck out of me. I didn't realize that that was a problem. Last I checked, that's how dads and their sons bonded. And yes, me and my dad actually did that because, so yes, I was about redneck. Honest to God, truth. Here, piss in the bottle. Why? Because I need to fill up the radiator, damn it. Just piss in the bottle. God bless John Price. I love that man. I miss him, I tell you. I miss my daddy like you know, like desert misses the rain. He's what our society is missing now. Honest to God, truth. A man with you know a somewhat democratic or more independent, but still democratic mind. Southern as a freaking turnip. Southern is a collard green. Born in fucking Caribou, Maine. But Southern is a collard green. That's what we're missing in our society today. I'm gonna be right honest with you. We need more dads. Real dads. Not these soy fuck farts that think that they're dads. No, we need somebody who's gonna be like my daddy was. Be fair and honest with you. No, you gotta go and put the worm on your own hook. No, you gotta take that fish off your damn self. Nah, you gotta pull that trigger. Nah, you gotta drink that blood. Let's be serious. You're gonna be fucking out here doing the damn thing. You gotta have respect for the animal and its life that is given to you, and the spirit that is given, and the hunt. You have to respect who you are. You are a predator. Own that motherfucking shit and stop being a pussy about it. Cowboy the fuck up. We need more dads. We need more JPs. Honest to God, truth. John Price, here's to you. God bless my old man. Man was a Southern Democrat, you know that? And when I say Southern Democrat, I mean in the old sense. I don't mean, I'm not meaning these new fucking liberals. These whiny crybabies that fucking call themselves Democrats because they can't fucking verify themselves with anything else. Now, you want to know what I mean by a Southern Democrat? I mean upright, respectful, carried a gun, loved everybody from the bottom of his heart, and would give the shirt off his back to make sure you didn't get sunburned. Didn't really agree with wars and the military, but he still stood to the provision of that. Was a fucking hippie, but still went hunting and fishing. Loved his heritage. Knew himself as a man and nothing less. That's the Southern Democrat. The original Southern Democrat. This was what my daddy was. He wasn't no fucking neo demo. None of this new shit. Nah. Nowadays, he would have been considered so far fucking right wing that they don't have a term for it. Honest to God truth. My daddy nowadays would be considered so fucking far right wing, they would have called him a radical extremist. But back when I was a kid, my daddy was what they would call Southern gentry. He had that freaking I stick my foot so far up your ass, the toenail polish, my fucking boot polish, a goddamn black out your teeth kind of attitude if you mess with him. But on the other flip side, he'd come out the woodwork and been real nice to you if he could have. Nowadays, that's what I call independent. Back in the day, that was called Southern Democrat or Southern gentry. You were a gentleman first.
If somebody else decided that they was up to them to rile your feathers, well, too goddamn bad. You're about to feather their pillow. But the reality was, Southern gentry is what we stood as and what we was. We went duck hunting, we went fishing, we went camping, we went fucking deer hunting, we went bear hunting, we went coyote hunting, we went, you know, bar crawling, we went and did all sorts of fun shit. We was country. And what right bothers me, all right, and I know that y'all think that I'm like super conservative or all this shit. No, I'm an independent. I think that the Rhino Party, because that's real out what it is. The damn Rhino Party done sold y'all down the fucking river. Sick as it makes me to my stomach and think about it. They done sold you down the river. Independence, we've stood back in the background and been like, y'all understand what we would do if we had the power, right? Y'all understand that we would fucking literally turn this country around and flip it on its ear. Y'all understand that you would be literally able to walk down the fucking street with a goddamn fucking AK-47 strapped to your back. As long as you ain't fucking gunning down people in broad goddamn fucking daylight for no goddamn reason, you could do that. Because that is your right. Oh, you spent some time in prison? Oh, big fucking whoop. And? Did you decide to reform yourself? If not, then why the fuck are you out of prison? Let's be clear. It's the will to do righteousness, the will to do good. There's something a lot of people have lost. Eitherwise because they don't give a fuck no more, or because hurt people hurt people. I try not to be a hurt person because I don't want to hurt people. I've been that hurt person in my past, and I ain't like that no more. I worked around it. I got out of it. I give people small insights into the freaking darkness that is in my soul and has been something I've done in my past. Small microscopic insights with the live streams or my book or the different stuff like that. I just small microscopic insights, because if you even knew, dude, I tell you what, you'd be sick. You'd be mad. You'd be like, how the fuck can you do that and still be, somebody who's so jovial? How could you do that and not feel as if you are the most disgusting creature on this planet? I'll tell you right now, I have in the past felt I'm the most disgusting creature on this planet, but at the same time, I recognized it as a necessary evil at the moment. I don't like to hate on anybody because that hatred leads to anger, and that anger leads to suffering. I don't like to see other motherfuckers suffer. It's a reality. I try to help, not hurt. A little bit that I can give back is what I give back. But to think of it on a level of, therefore, I shouldn't have. There's something wrong with you. I can't fix it. I love you. No, I can't fix it. And I pray to God that you don't let it become part of what makes you hate me. I pray to God you don't hate me. because there's a matter of that fact that I might have to respond in kind. I believe my life has worth. What little worth it may be, I still believe it has worth. And it's something that if someone wants to take it from me, they're going to have a fight on their hands. Now, always said you got the right to say is whatever he wants to say. And it could even be things that I might not agree with or I might find insulting, but you got the right to say it. And by God, I'll die for your right to say it. I will protect your right to sit there and hate me with your mouth, with my blood. So don't ever get it twisted. That being said, you come within arm's reach of me and you keep on that shit and you don't recognize my kindness has a limit. Well, then I will wait until you decide that it's necessary for you to put hands on me, and then I will give you a good old cut-fashioned country fried ass whooping, and then ask you what you did wrong, just to see if you got to listen. That's the point. Courteous, kind, until you can't be. I attempt so. But by God, I'll snatch someone up by the short and curlies. They think that I'm gonna be fucking just pushed around or stepped on. There is a reason why I says do not tread on me, or the term don't, just don't. There's a reason behind it. And if you gonna bring the southern at me, so I'm gonna go fucking all goddamn out on it. Fuck it. If you got a problem with me, then you got a problem with what you are supposed to be. Zero fucks to give unless they're earned. Zero fucks to give unless it is absolutely necessary. Love for all until they prove to you that they do not need nor earn that love and respect from you. And once they do, you give them the cold shoulder as long as you can. And once they grab your shoulder to see if it's actually at the temperature it is, you let them realize how hot you are. That's how I have stood in my entire life, and that is how I hold myself. That's the standard I hold myself to. It's a high fucking standard. And I don't always come to that. I don't always meet that expectation. But you know what? I try. And that's the more important part, is that you try. We're all going to falter. We're all going to end up having that little bit of a stumbling block, because we're all human beings. But damn it, you try. Because without effort, there is no exhalation. Without effort, there is no accomplishment. You have to put the effort in if you're going to get something out of it. And that right there in a nutshell is what makes me madder than an old red hen when these motherfuckers come in with this goddamn bullshit ass legislation like we're gonna take it all away from you. Like, motherfucker, I put in the effort, damn it. What you want? What you want? You want extras? You want the pat on the ass and the old good old happy duty all? Well, motherfucker, earn it. Earn it. Stop pansy assing and pussyfooting around and saying, oh, well, it's all going to be all right because we're going to make this legislation. It's going to make all bad things go away. Motherfucker, listen up. Fuck your bullshit. Let's go back to how it were when real men actually roamed this land. When real women brought children up in this country. Let's go back to what it were when men stood to the defense of their own nation, their own brothers and sisters, regardless of the shores that it lay upon. Let's go back to being Americans. Now, I'm sorry if that offends you. I'm not sorry that I said it. And you'll never get me to accept that I'm sorry that I said it. Because I meant it. I think everyone should be armed equally. Because here's the reality of it. God created all men and women. But Sam Colt made them equal. So I want you to think on that. Kick back, relax. Enjoy your beer, enjoy your coffee, tea, whatever. Get your crumpets and stick them in your tea. You know what you know. Relax. Keep calm. Hold the line. That's what we got to do. That's a reality. Keep calm, hold the line. I done got so goddamn alright. So many freaking things out there, so many problems. But realize there's not much I can do to affect it other than speak and be heard. So if folks don't want to hear what I got to say, well, I'm sorry for you. If you want to enjoy the Freedom Forum, that's up to you. You are the one who dictates your own life. You are the one who dictates your own path. Nobody else is doing it for you. Nobody else is doing it to you. If you want to be something, be somebody. Make it count. Leave a legend. Don't leave a tale of woes. Be legendary. And now I'll leave you all on that particular note. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to go out in your day-to-day life now, in the near future, across the interwebs, or in your day-to-day life. And I want you to build your legend and be legendary. Don't be a footnote. Cheers, beers. And this is Yo Guardsman on, motherfuckers. I am out.